Class 12, we will be starting off with the new chapter, Measures of Dispersion in Economics. Now, what is X? Now, X in mathematics, we generally use X, Y, Z in case of variables. When anything takes different values at different times, we call that variable. And what is a constant? Constant means which remains same. Suppose if I say that you have 5 pens in your pencil box. That is constant because unless you add one more pen to it, it will remain 5. There will be only 5 pens in the pencil box. But variable means which is continuously changing, and it can take any values. For example, your age. Your age is variable because every moment counts and you are a day older. So your age cannot be held constant. It is variable. So variable means anything that can take more than one values. If I say what is the marks obtained by the different students in mathematics of a particular class. Now in maths, everyone don't get the same value. If everybody is getting same value, for example, out of 50 or out of 20, you have got 25, all have got 25. That means it's a constant, everybody's marks is same. But it does not happen, so it is a variable. So everyone can take different marks in the maths paper. So X means anything whose value changes. Now let us take that there was an exam of 20 marks and different students get different values. Someone got 5, someone got 10 and the other got 15. So 5, 10 and 15, they represent the marks of the maths paper obtained by 3 different students. So let us take only this example for simplicity. I have taken only 3 students and marks of mathematics is variable because all take different marks. Now, if I want to know the average performance of the class, average performance of the class in maths. That means in this particular class of 3 students, they have got different marks. But what is their average performance as a class? Now what is average? Average is something that approximates and give you a result that around this number, almost everybody's number is locating. So if I calculate the average, you know, for calculating average you have to find mean. And how to find mean? In case of such simple, if the values of variable x is given, mean can be calculated by sum total of x, I. What is I? I means how many observations or values of x you have got. You have 3 values of x, so I have taken I extends from 1 to 3. And if you sum total all these x values and if you divide by the number of x values, you will get the mean. So just breaking it, summation of xi means I am adding up all the x values and I extends from 1 to 3. That means there are 3 values of x. That means x1 plus x2 plus x3. If I togetherly write, I write this as summation sign, x suffix instead of the numbers I write I, and here I describe what is I, equal to 1 to n. It means the interval. Now here I am breaking and writing without the summation sign. Xi means, summation of xi means where I is from 1 to 3, it means x, the first value of x, second value of x and the third value of x. If I was I equal to 1 to 5 and there were 5 values, you have to do x1 plus x2, x3, x4, x5. Now divided by n means the number of items. So here what will be the mean? X1, the first value is 5, plus X2, the second value is 10, and the third value is 15. And 3 observations are taken, so divided by n equal to 3. Now if you add up, this is giving you 30 by 3, which means 10. So average is 10. So average marks of all the students is how much? Mean we write like this, mean or average is written like this, x bar. Average is 10. That means almost all the students' performance is around this number, is approximately close to this average number. So average is 10, and what does it indicate? That all the 3 students' marks are around this value. So 5 is somewhere over here, 10, the second value is collapsing with the average, it is similar as the average value, and the third value is 15. So all the values, either they lie close to the average value. So this means that the average gives you the middlemost value around which all the actual values that the variable take lies. So this is known as central tendency. The tendency of the variable x values to cluster around the average value or the centralmost value is known as central tendency. And how do you find the central tendency value, that is the average? By applying mean, median, mode. These are the 3 measures of finding out averages. Now, this is a data set. Data set means for x value, for x variable, what are the values that x can take are known as the data set of x variable. Now these values, I said that they have a tendency to locate around the average value. And how to find the average value? By mean, median and mode. So closer the values lie towards the average, it shows that the average picture that you draw about the data set is accurate. So from the average performance we judge your performance. Does your performance in every paper match your average result? No. But it shows that it is the average or middlemost value around which you have got. Suppose your average is 70. It does not mean that you have got in all the papers 70. It does not mean that your marks is equal to the average value. It means that your marks are lying in the vicinity or in the surrounding of the average value. So average is taken as the centralmost value around which the marks are locating. So average can be calculated by the mean, median and mode. We call them measures of central tendency. How to measure the central tendency value. Now closer the marks towards your average, that means your average gives an accurate picture of your performance. Similarly, the closer the values of any variable lies nearer to the average, it shows that the values are more or less accurate, or the average calculated more or less gives an accurate picture of the values taken up by the variables. But sometimes what happens, the average you get faulty average. Suppose if I change the figure over here, suppose these 3 students, one have scored 0, that means nothing in the paper. One has scored 10. one has scored 5 and one has scored 25. So how does it look? There are 3 students, one is weak who is getting 0, another one is also weak who is getting 5, and there is one student who is good who is getting 25. But if you calculate the average result, it still gives you 10. 25 plus 5, 30 by 3 gives you 10. So it shows average is the central most value. It shows that more or less all the students' marks lie around this 10. But do you think the person who is getting 0, his marks is lying nearer to 10? No. The person who is getting 25, that is also very far away from 10. That means the average picture that you are drawing about the class performance in mathematics is faulty, because average tells you almost nearer to this value all of their marks lie. But actually it is not happening. Somebody is getting as low as 0, somebody is getting almost 15 marks higher than 10, that is 25. So sometimes the average doesn't reveal a true picture about the performance. Similarly, it does not reveal a true picture about the data set given. So, more the difference of the actual value from the mean or the central value or the average value, we say more dispersed is the data set, more spread out is the data set. So, more the variability of the data set. So, always remember, from here we can draw one conclusion. That is, lesser the dispersion, that means if the actual value lies closer to the central most value, the average value, it shows that the average or measure of central tendency is correct. It gives a true picture and the data set becomes reliable. You can rely on the data. You can use that for any kind of study. But when actual values are deviating so much from the mean value or the central value, what is the deviation? Suppose this is one value of x minus this is a central value x bar. So the original value of the variable minus the centralmost value or the mean, it gives you the deviation or how much it is dispersed. In this case, x means 25, x bar or central value is 10. So 25 minus 10 is 15. So almost the average and the original value deviates by 15 marks. So more the data are dispersed, the central measure or the average cannot give a true picture. If I say your average performance is 20, but in one paper you got 90. So do you think that your marks are almost lying nearer to 20? No, there is obviously a drift. A figure is there which is dispersed so much from the average. So more the dispersion of the values of the variable, the less you can rely on the average calculated by mean, median and mode. And how can you understand? So what is important for your study to know whether the central value is accurate or not? You have to calculate the dispersion or the spread between the original values and the average value. So this is known as deviation, x minus x bar. So x minus x bar gives you the deviation. We also call it dispersion. How much the original values are deviating from the mean. And in this chapter you will see that there will be techniques how to calculate this deviation, or how many ways are there to calculate how much your original values deviate from the mean or average value.